We are saying that 70% of people rely on agriculture. This means that they have to succeed in their agricultural activities in order to make their livelihood. And agricultural activities means to grow crops that are producing more, we have information technologies that allow them to sell better. We have crops that have resistance to pests and diseases. It means that when they harvest their production, they can process it so that they can sell in the market to earn more money. And those activities contribute to poverty reduction. But they cannot achieve that goal if technological solutions are not available to address those problems. And those technological solutions are coming from a science building like this. In the science building, this is where we understand the problem driving crop production and productivity. It is in the science building that we identify precisely what the pests and diseases are. It is in the science building that we test the prototype solution before we take them back to the farmers' field. So there is a clear linkages and a big role that a science building like this will play in poverty reduction, because it generates technological solutions to address the farmers' problems.
This is a fantastic building for being able to extend the work of IITA. I view it as a system of helping people on the ground, and the extent to which we can extend that from Western Africa to Eastern Africa becomes a significant challenge, but it's also exciting, and this building really does that for us.
It's a building, but it houses more than just IITA. It will be housing other international centers and other organizations, all with the same passion for improving productivity, health, nutrition. It's an exciting time, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
This, in a sense, establishes IITA in East Africa, East and Southern Africa, with these scientific laboratory infrastructure. So I think this is a fantastic investment.
The mission of IITA is so important, and we can't miss out on such an important mission. And the building will attract good scientists and will create good science. That's how I feel about this. It's a great day, and we are all rejoicing on IITA's behalf.
Well, I really think it's a terrific example of what can be done in the region, and it's a laboratory and office facility that's really comparable with anything, because the work of IITA, although it stems from the core effort in Ibadan in Nigeria, it must be represented on the ground in the regions where they have different pest problems, different climatic conditions, and different crops indeed. This can handle this region very, very well, and I think the facility is really so commendable that I hope a lot of people will take note of what's being done and the advances that it will indeed bring.
The name itself tells it all. It's, I think, very good news that with the new governance of IITA, that science is put on the agenda again, against all the beliefs that we don't need to do any more science in Africa, but just implement it. So this is a very good signal that science is back and that we need innovative science to foster or to make progress in Africa.
I believe this center is going to come innovations being generated here, technologies being generated here. We will fight hunger and poverty along the whole value chain, because this center will be looking at the challenges, barriers and bottlenecks in the value chain. If it's a disease, it's addressing that disease. So it's going to fight hunger and poverty, because hunger and poverty comes from reduction in the yield, sometimes devastation of a whole crop. Like you remember, there's a time we lost all the cassava in Uganda. It comes from diseases and all that of crops. And so the center is going to tackle hunger and poverty in Africa by research and innovations that address the crop productivity and the yields.
Those who mooted the idea of having this science laboratory building are really in the right direction as far as Africa's food security is concerned.
think this building will make a very big contribution to IITA achieving its mission in East Africa. It will encourage partners and scientists to join IITA to come to such a beautiful building with such good facilities, and I think it will have a major contribution to us achieving our aims in Africa.
Research is very important for us because without research we can't sustain agricultural development. So this kind of investment is actually meant to sustain all investments which will be put in agriculture. So this is a very wonderful investment.
It's a first-class project. It's very necessary. It's long overdue because if well managed and well advanced, it will lend a great deal of dignity to the African people in the sense of ensuring food security. Food security, which can be basis of good health, good education, and so on. Number one for me priority is food. People must be self-sufficient in sub-Saharan Africa in particular. They can be self-sufficient given seeds, given all that stuff. And that's being undertaken here through scientific research, and that make that possible.
This is extremely important because it is trying to improve on the production and the productivity of a variety of crops, cassava, bananas, soybean, and so on. And we need them for food security in our region, in Africa as a whole, and in this region in particular.
This science building is a state-of-the-art building and a state-of-the-art laboratories. We have 5 different laboratories for different kind of work. For example, we have a molecular lab, we have a pathology lab, we have a food science lab, we have a soil lab, and then the different other facilities and infrastructure to help our laboratories, main laboratories. Now if you see this building, it's a state-of-the-art and it's a very, very energy efficient building. What we want, not to waste money on energy, but we want to save that money so that it can be spent on our science, so that that money can be used for doing real science which helps poor in Africa and which helps the sub-Saharan Africa here.
Well, I've just had a tour and Sanginga told me that really there isn't a facility like this in all of East Africa, and with challenges like the brown streak virus in cassava, Africa needs facilities like this. There will be a gene bank here, there's great labs here, other CG centres will come here. We think this will be an excellent ag research for development hub in East Africa.